Forgot my hat again. Sorry, guys. Welcome to DoMoreLife and welcome to another live stream. Today we're going to talk about Thailand's resilience on fake news. They will not tolerate it, will not have any of it, which is why we are only going, well, we always only discuss facts on here. We don't make predetermined judgments or play the blame game on here. Sometimes we offer constructive criticism, but we often provide solutions for that. And I am excited about today's live stream. I think it's going to be a little bit eye-opening, and we're going to talk about cyber crimes and cyber law, and we'll get into all kinds of good stuff about cyber law. Hey, Jose, good to see you. Ross, good to see you. Asia, Unscripted, good to see you. Anon, good to see you. Lau, good to see you. I am glad you guys are joining. Gotta love Thailand. What's up? I'm wondering if that's why you took your live stream down. That's why. No. In fact, that's not why I took the live stream down. I took the live stream down. I told everybody I was taking the live stream down from Tuesday. I told everyone that. And toward the end of the live stream. And the reason was because there were some comments, suggestions made at the beginning that could have potentially been misinterpreted, potentially. So I just wanted to make sure we didn't put the channel or the community in jeopardy in any way, form, or fashion, which it doesn't matter because the trolls record my videos as I talk anyway. So they have the recordings if they want to take it to whoever, the Royal Thai Police, all that stuff. They can do all that. It doesn't matter. We use factual information on this channel, so that's it. Here's today's description. In this live discussion, we discussed the fact that Thailand will not tolerate fake news. I will explain what that means and how Thailand's cybercrime division could affect you as well. Thailand has made it clear that any information you post on social media about the country, its politics, its people, its Phuket sandbox, its Samui Plus, its reopening, or its vaccine rollout is subject to intensive scrutiny and severe penalties for producing misleading, untruthful, or damaging information. In addition, we will discuss tourism in Thailand in 2021, the Phuket Sandbox, and Samui Plus reopening schemes, which seem to be doing fairly well. Let's continue to learn how to do more life through the use of factual information and people's personal experiences. Please enjoy this travel and tourism update from Bangkok, Thailand. Hey, Chuck, good to see you, man. So now that we have the description of the video out of the way, most of you know I'm living here in Bangkok. Why am I talking to you on a Thursday? It's because I'm under a partial furlough at work. For those of you that don't know, what is a partial furlough? A partial furlough means you only work part of the time and you get paid half your month's salary. So that's what I'm on right now. What other off the top questions can I answer before we begin? Because I want to start with these, before I get into any kind of bad news, I want to start off with the correct news about Thailand and how it is rejecting what they consider to be cybercrime. And posted 2 days ago was a listing, that was written at the actual source was The Nation Thailand, but I'm going to read it to you from the Tiger as it was written, so you guys can understand what they mean by fake news, how to avoid it, and how not to get yourself in trouble, because this literally could apply to anyone who makes a Facebook post, who makes a YouTube post or a TikTok video regarding Thailand and any information. The most important thing you need to know is, just like when you come to Thailand and you have your paperwork with you and you're standing at the immigration counter, everything is subject to that immigration's officer, his personal interpretation of why or of your documentation or what you're saying, what you're doing. And that's pretty much what it boils down to in the cyber crimes division as well. So just because you said something that may be right on par, if they interpret it differently, you might be in trouble. Just letting you know. Thumbs up button, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. Helps get the videos out. And let's talk about this. The headline reads, Thai authorities crack down on COVID-19 fake news posters could face jail time. Thai authorities are cracking down on fake news, particularly false claims about the COVID-19 situation in Thailand. The Digital Economy and Society's Ministry Anti-Fake News Center reported more than 50 cases of fake news posted since last month, most involving COVID-19 or vaccines. Police are now investigating the cases. Those who posted or shared misleading information, again, that's going to be completely subjective. Unless you just blatantly shared something that's completely false. It's going to be subjective. Those who posted or shared misleading information information found to threaten national security or cause public panic could be punished under Thailand's Computer Crime Act, which carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison and up to 100,000 baht fine. Hello, Mr. Richard Cyphers. It's good to see you today. Thank you for dropping by, sir. I'm glad you're here. 5 years in prison or 100,000 baht fine under Thailand's Computer Crime Act. All right, so let's get into the guts a little bit. With last month's request from the government for those in Bangkok to work at home and avoid travel, more, and I'm quoting from the Tiger here, which the article came from The Nation. It says, with last month's request from the government for those in Bangkok to work at home and avoid travel, more misleading posts were made, according to Royal Thai Police Deputy Spokesperson. I'm not even going to try to pronounce their name. Adding that people were spending more time on social media. That's usually what happens when you are at home. Hello, Robert. Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. Glad you are here, my friend. Quote, of over 50 cases of fake news that the police are pursuing legal actions, more than 30 are related to COVID-19. Posters of fake news that causes damages to any party, public confusion, or panic is punishable with a maximum of 5 years imprisonment or a 100,000 baht fine, or both, under the Computer-Related Crime Act of 2017. If you find any fake news, please contact the Royal Thai Police Call Center. The Anti-Fake News Center has fact-checked various claims widely shared on social media. Now, these are the types of posts, the ones I'm getting ready to read to you, that are just blatantly, these are not subjective. These are blatantly false. One post claimed the government increased the tax on the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine by more than 100%. That's obviously not factual information. That I would consider that fake news. The Thai Customs Department says the claims are false. Fair enough. I believe them. Another claim, the PM was given 4 injections of the COVID-19 vaccine, also false. Of course. So news like that is going to get you in a lot of trouble really fast, and you have to be very, 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 very careful. Robert, thank you so much for dropping the PayPal link and putting my Cash App on there. I really appreciate it. I'll pin that to the top. Contributions are definitely appreciated. They are not required, but if you can contribute, then feel free to. If not, I understand. It's no problem. We're here to have a good discussion, and that's what DoMoreLife is about. So, little personal update real quick before we continue further. As I mentioned in the beginning, still half month's pay furlough. Still in the same situation with the job. Nothing's changed there. still looking for online work. I did get an email back from a company yesterday that said we're still reviewing your application. It takes time, but we want to make sure we have plenty of people ready to talk to you when you are ready to for you to be their tutor when we get you online. After today's video, I will be submitting more applications to more online companies. You will likely see, if I get any of these jobs, you will likely see a sharp, drastic fall off of YouTube videos and live streams due to the fact that two of my most popular videos are not being shown on the homepage anymore. So sad. And ad revenue is in the tank. So I got to go where I can make the money. One more thing on that, on the personal update, and then I'll get back into the news. What was I going to say? As of today, I will begin uploading videos to another platform. I will inform my channel members first, probably, and then I will inform everyone else via YouTube stories or via a public post that I make. Also, do not miss this weekend's Saturday live stream, because Saturday I'm going to have a great topic, one that we've been needing to talk about for a very long time, and you will be extraordinarily interested. It will have a lot of information in it. I'm actually going to take time to sit down and really kind of storyboard this one out so that I can get the correct information to you guys. And it does involve Thailand. So, purely involves Thailand and maybe some other countries as well. But it's a question that needs to be answered, and we will do that. So let's continue on with our absolutely, completely non-fake news. And let's talk about today. I want to read you an article from today, and keep in mind the Phuket Sandbox is now open. They've done pretty good in Phuket. I believe, if I'm correct, the total number of COVID cases they have reported at the Phuket Sandbox is a total of 7, which is not bad. They've had about 5,000 people. Some of them are foreign tourists. The vast majority, the vast majority have been, I'm not even going to say the vast majority. There have been lots of people that have just been kind of repatriating to Thailand. There have been retirees coming back. There have been people that have families over here coming back. There's been people that had jobs over here coming back using the Phuket Sandbox model. Those people have been coming back. And then there have been a lesser percentage, but definitely there have been some foreign tourists coming back in through the Phuket Sandbox model. As of today, the Samui Plus model starts. And the Samui Plus is a little bit different. It's based on the Phuket Sandbox model, but essentially what will happen is you will be in your hotel room. If you go, you can only get to Samui one of two ways, either a transit flight from Bangkok into Koh Samui or a direct flight into Koh Samui. When you get there, you'll spend your first 3 days in your hotel room. After your first 3 days, I believe you are given to the best of my knowledge, you are giving another test. As long as that's negative, then you are allowed to participate in the hotel itself. So all the amenities around the hotel, within the hotel confinement, you will be allowed to go to the pool, that kind of thing. Or on day 7, you will be permitted, providing everything is going well, you'll be permitted to take what they call the sealed routes if you want to do tourism around the island. You can also check out certain spots of the island. And then on day 14, you will be permitted to tour the island completely. And you will also be able to go to Koh Phangan and Koh Tao via the sealed route measures that they have. That is currently the latest information I have on those schemes. So we will see how far that goes, and I will read you some more information on the Samui Plus model coming up shortly. They expect, as of yesterday, they expected, I believe, 13 travelers to arrive today, but that's changed to no travelers, no foreign tourists to arrive today. Not sure what happened. They started issuing certificates of entry through foreign embassies and foreign consulates on Monday. So I wouldn't expect the entries to be very high right now anyway. So good for Thailand for continuing to push this thing forward. And hopefully everything works itself out so that the PM came out publicly and said the country would reopen in October. And it looks as though they are pushing forward with that, despite the partial lockdowns and the soft lockdowns and the very intense travel restrictions throughout the country. And today's record number of deaths in the country. Also, still averaging above 9,000 cases today of COVID-19 in the country. Thailand is still planning to push ahead with the reopening. Carl says, "Hey JC, hopping over from channel. Gotta watch him sometime. It's right. Makes one appreciate Thai women." Okay, I'll check that out. Carl, thank you very much. So Thursday update. Today is Thursday in Thailand, by the way. 9,186 new cases. This is from the Tiger. A record daily high of 98 coronavirus-related deaths was reported today by the CCSA. Also logged 9,186 new C19 infections, continuing on the trend of daily infections hitting the 8,000s and 9,000s. In the latest and most severe wave of the virus, Thailand first reported on April 1st, there have been 343,352 confirmed cases. Roger McGee, what is up, my friend? Good to see you. Hadn't seen you in a couple chats. It's nice to see you, Roger. I'm glad you're here, man. I really am. I was thinking about you the other day, hoping things were going well. I was going to send you a message, but then I had remembered that I had sent you one not too long ago, and I didn't want to get on your nerves. So I hope everything's going well for you back in the States, and hope all your intricacies of your move and everything are working out well. Guys, forgive me for some reason. I don't know why. I'm extremely thirsty this morning, and my tongue is sticking to the roof of my mouth. Out of the new cases reported, only 79 were found in correction facilities. The latest wave of the virus to move more than a dozen of Thailand's overcrowded prisons, infecting more than 30,000 inmates. Active testing is being done to detect infections, even asymptomatic, and contain the virus. Now, see, this is where I don't want to get into, by any stretch of the imagination, fake news at all, okay? I just want to talk about the phrase contain the virus. All right. So containing the virus at this point seems to be a futile effort, no matter the country. I'm not just talking about Thailand here. We're past the point of containment. You can contain clusters. You can contain individuals. You can contain certain aspects, but once it becomes a community level event, when you can't find patient zero, it's very hard to call something containing. And I believe that any government or any entity, for that matter, not blaming Thailand, just saying, any entity that thinks that they can still contain this virus, their efforts may be futile, and I hope that that's not the case here. I really hope it works. It could, Jay. So when they say fake news, does that apply to opinions they don't like? As I explained in the very beginning of the video, when I went over the entire fake news, and I'm going to go through the exact policy later, Jay, so just stay tuned, bud. That's a fair question. Just like when you come to Thailand, Carl, I'm going to answer you in just a second. When you come to Thailand and you're standing at the immigration counter, whether or not you get into Thailand is ultimately up to that immigration officer and his or her sole discretion. I started to say he or she, their sole discretion. It kind of work. It's going to work the same way within the cyber crimes division. It's going to be up to their sole discretion. If you make a post that could be subjective, okay, they could be interpreted different ways. I read some examples of posts that were just blatantly false, which they had the right, absolutely, to call those out and handle those people. So, with that being said, again, this is not spreading fake news. I'm simply of the opinion, and let me do say, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm not a virologist. I don't have a degree in public health. This is just my opinion. I don't believe that containing the virus at this point is possible. I just don't believe that. I believe that it's time for us to learn how to live with it, like Singapore is doing. And some other countries around the world have learned how to use therapeutics very well. And they've also really pushed out they've done a great job with their vaccine rollouts. Hey, Tim, good to see you, buddy. Carl says, JC, you mentioned you were thinking of returning to the U.S. Is that still on, and will you stay? As of right now, I think I'm going to be able to stay here until at least November, and that's if I find another job by then, or not another job. Excuse me. That's if I find. That's if the channel is able to keep turning a profit, and if when I say profit, of course I'm talking about contributions via PayPal and Cash App. So if that can happen, and I can get one of these online jobs that I've been applying for, I talked about earlier, then yeah, I'll be able to hang until at least November. I've got enough because I've been saving everything. So I've got enough saved up now to do me until at least November. So we will see. Carl, that's a great question. I've discussed it with my family, so there's definitely no recourse in me returning to the U.S. I have a place to stay, a place to go, possibly even a job waiting on me when I got there. But nevertheless, I still believe I'm better off in Thailand, even though we're under the non-lockdown right now. I still believe this is the better place for me to be. I think there's better opportunity for me here. And yeah, I just think it's going to work out better if I stay here. I answered Jay's question. Roger, you're welcome. Carl says there could be no containment. Best we could have done is let it burn out like we did with SARS. There's a great interview with a worldwide epidemiologist who said what we're doing is making it worse. You know what, bud? I've seen some of those videos, and you have an excellent point. For the safety of YouTube, I'm removing your comment only because just the safety of the channel. Not because you said anything wrong, Carl. In fact, I agree with you. Anon says, blatant lies are a problem. Then you have to remember posting that causes somebody something to lose face. Remember the criminal hotel review from Coach Chang a few months ago? 100%, and I agree, bud. 100%. I agree with you, and blatant lies are a problem. Making up or exaggerating facts about the reopening or the attempts at reopening here in Thailand are a problem, and vloggers should be very careful. Vietnam, you guys should read the article from the Tiger about what Vietnam is getting ready to do with vloggers and live streaming. I have a sneaky suspicion that Thailand may follow suit. In that, I posted it in our Facebook group. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, then apply to be my friend on Facebook and tell me what your handle is on YouTube if you use an alternate name, which is totally fine. And I will invite you to our Facebook group if you are a trusted member and subscriber. I don't mean channel member. I mean subscriber. I have a whole different section for the channel members, which I've got some interesting news for them that I've got to get to them. Yes, I remember that, and that's a very good point. Hey, Jose says, glad to hear that, JC. Me too. I think I'll be better off over here. Carl says, that's good to hear, JC. Godspeed with the new potential opportunity. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very, very much. I want to keep. Let me be clear. I wouldn't feel like I gave up if I went back to the U.S., but I want to make sure I see this thing through. I want to be the guy that says, I was here through the entirety of COVID when it arrived and after the country learned how to deal with it, and started seeing tourism return back to some sort of normal, which Saturday's live stream is so important, guys. Make sure you're on Saturday's live stream. It's Saturday morning, 9 a.m. here. It'll be 10 p.m. On the East Coast on Friday night. That's a live stream you are not going to want to miss. I've got storyboards. I've got pieces of information that you are definitely going to want to be a part of. And it's going to answer one of the ultimate questions that you guys have been asking. And I'll get more to that. Tim says, good to hear, brother. Yes, thank you, man. I appreciate that, Tim. It is. I'm gonna bear with it, and provided nothing massive changes, I'm gonna bear it out. Like I said, it depends on for right now. It depends on contributions on the channel, and it depends on whether or not I get one of these online teaching jobs for extra income. So we'll see what happens. Roger says it's all about the V rollout. 100%, Roger. I never argue that. I would never argue that point. I think if I'm just going to say vaccine. Okay. I would still prefer you guys over in the chat to still code it out, but I'll say vaccine. I think it's about the vaccine rollout. If they can get the vaccine to enough people, which it seems like they're doing, I'm going to go through all that here in a few minutes. And it seems like Thailand's really trying to step up and get the vaccines to more people. We found out the Sino, that particular jab, lost a lot of its effectiveness after two doses and was proven to be pretty much ineffective against the Delta. So a lot of people over here are getting sick that already had both doses because of that particular jab. Let me make sure I got everybody up here. Carl said, sad. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Carl said, sad to say, since I mentioned God, probably best to remove comment as well. May trigger. No, I won't remove that, Carl. That's okay, but no worries at all. No reflection on you, just you two overlords. I understand. I won't remove that. I don't think that has the context in which you said it's fine. Lyle says, my name is Lumpy. What does that mean, Lyle? Your name is not Lumpy. Anna says, refreshing reminder, PSA, if everybody isn't using a VPN, then now is a good time to start. 100% correct on that. And I have a VPN, and then I also have, you guys may want to check into something called WebRoot. WebRoot provides security to your computer, and it also provides a VPN. You can get also, even though I don't really use that VPN a lot, you can use a security program called WebRoot, which I have found has really minimized anything that happens to my computer, to my channel, any kind of hacking, anything like that. So good reminder. And Carl says, amen, Anna, nowadays you're crazy not to use VPN. I agree. Stuck in Florida. What's up, Stuck? Good to see you, man. He says that one illness was eventually contained by means of isolation of patients, strict enforcement of Q, in some areas top-down enforcement of community Q, and stopping all human-to-human transmission. I agree. We also talked about why I heard an interview myself where the doctor said that particular illness was burn itself out. It literally burned itself out. And yes, the Qs and the isolation did help, but they called it early. You have to remember, they called it early. I watched the whole map of how it went from where it was from Hong Kong to Ontario to where it was found in the U.S., the whole 9 yards, and how they contained it. But we're at a point right now where you can't contain it because you can't track. You can only contain something if you can find patient zero. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I don't know if you heard that or not. But we're a little bit beyond containment over here. In my opinion, we're a little bit beyond containment, and it's time to just roll out the vax, roll out the jabs as much as possible, and learn how to live with this terrible thing that's happened. Even the PM, a couple months ago, came out and said it's time for us to learn how to live with it. Now, the soft lockdowns and all the travel restrictions seem to be kind of contradictory to what the PM said. But again, Thailand's doing the best they can. They're trying, and that's all we can really say. Let me read this, and then I'll get back to your comments. Let's see, I read that. Of the member countries of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, Indonesia ranks the highest, and then it gives the numbers of infections. Yesterday, the country recorded 54,517 new infections. This is Indonesia, not Thailand, okay? And 991 deaths. So, other updates. The over-the-counter sale of rapid antigen C19 test has been authorized by the Public Health Ministry here in Thailand. That's good. That means you can purchase your own test. The announcement was published in the Royal Gazette, making it official. The government's news bureau says the Thai FDA expects the test to be available next week and approved at approved clinics and other venues where there is a licensed pharmacist on duty. The Thai government is moving forward with plans to inoculate people with different vaccine brands, despite a warning from the World Health Organization scientists who called the mixing of vaccines a, quote, dangerous trend. This week, Thailand approved the use of the AZ shot as a third booster shot, as well as a second dose for those who received a dose of Sinovac. The effort is said to boost immunity against the Delta. So even though the World Health Organization has said, no, guys, please don't mix the vaccines. Thailand is saying, you know what? We're going to mix the vaccines. And they have a right to do that. Government pharmaceutical organization sues Moderna profiteering allegations. So the government pharmaceutical organization is suing the chairman of the Thornbury Healthcare Group and a mathematician, both of whom have criticized its procurement of the MOD. I said the whole name in the beginning, didn't mean to. Vaccine. The Bangkok Post reports that the GPO has filed police complaints against THG Chairman Boon Vanison and mathematician Loy Chunpong Tong. Both men have alleged that the GPO profited from the purchase of mod doses, a claim the state agency denies. A statement issued by the GPO says it has filed defamation charges against Boone and Loy at Payatai Police Station in Bangkok. And you can read more about that if you would like to, but this is just where some, let me read this part so you guys will understand what they're talking about. It says, meanwhile, mathematician Loy has taken to YouTube to accuse GPO of profiting from the mod orders. Loy alleges that the state agency pocketed 444 baht from each dose ordered by private hospitals. Loy has also hit out at private hospitals, accusing them of overcharging for the mod jab. He says of the 1,650 baht being charged per dose, 622 baht is for, quote, hospital fees. In responding to the GPO's legal action, both Boone and Loy say they welcome the move, as the mod procurement contract will have to be made public should the matter go to court. The source on that was the Bangkok Post, but it's coming from the Tiger. In another headline, there was Thailand. This was 1 hour ago. Thailand to purchase another 120 million vaccine doses next year. I'll just read you the brief on this. Thailand's National Vaccine Committee has approved the purchase of an additional 120 million vaccine doses for 2022. However, it has yet to approve a draft announcement on the export of the AZ doses manufactured in Thailand due to concerns over insufficient doses for Thai citizens. I believe that's all that really needs to be said about that. This is just kind of giving you a little update on where Thailand's at right now. I want to catch up on some comments here that I didn't get to. Let's see. Don C says you need a VPN just to say, hey, Don, by the way, good to see you. You need a VPN just to see Netflix, Amazon, and US TV. That's true. You do. I agree 100%. Aubrey Smoke, good to see you. I will do my best. Hope you do the same. Stuck says, good morning, JC. I'll delete my own comment. It's up to you, bud. No problem. Stuck, I'm glad you're here, man, as always. Gotta love Thailand. Everybody saying hey to Stuck. That's good. We love Stuck. Anon says, also be careful of your DNS server. Be careful when using DNS from your internet provider or phone company. Absolutely. If you don't know what that means, just look it up, guys. It's not a difficult concept to understand. 1 second while I get a drink of water here. All right. Carl says, you know what's scary, JC? Folks are multi-vaccinating and taking multiple shots from different manufacturers. That's like taking multiple antibiotics when one will do. Again, I'll pull that one down so it won't be there on the record, Carl. But you have another good point. I mean, the World Health Organization is supposed to be the standard guideline, right, for the world. So why people are going against that, I don't know. I'm not sure. I couldn't begin to tell you. Roger says, terrible for the nurses and doctors who got sent back. I agree, Roger. Very good point. A lot of the frontline health workers received the Sino, and they're now having, they're basically, I don't think they have a choice, really. They're getting a booster of AZ or a different type of jab. Don C says, I'm constantly trying to reassure my Thai friends that while it can be bad, most by a wide range will just have a bad few days. I'm inclined, based on the evidence, to agree with you, Don, 100%. Let me go over here because Anon put a article, put a link in the chat. This is from the Phuket News. It says Phuket marks another 3 sandbox tourist infections. This was written today at 10:25 a.m., so not long ago. It says Phuket, another 3 sandbox tourists have tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total number of sandbox tourists who have tested positive for the virus since July 1st to 10, according to the daily COVID situation report issued by the Phuket Provincial Public Health Official Office. That's a lot, PPHO. The report was for yesterday, July the 14th. Let's see here. These are the areas. Let's see. Total number of people infected in Phuket. Here's an interesting fact. All Phuket sandbox arrivals who test positive after landing in Phuket are not included in the total number of infections on the island, despite testing negative immediately after landing at the airport, but testing positive after their first week on the island. The PPHO's updated map showing the locations of infections across the island since April 3rd are as follows. Wishet, I hope I said that right, 107 infections. Patong, 81, was previously marked as 81. Phuket Town, 86. Rasada, 78. Katu, 60. Chalong, 54. I can never say this beach right. Rawai, 47. Sring Tale, 45, was previously marked as 48. The Picker, there's another province on there that starts, or another district starts with a T at 38. Sirsuntorn, 39. Kamala, 33. Kiran, 33. Kokau, 29. Maikau, 12, was previously marked at 13. Paklok, 10, and Saku, 10. So that is an update for that model anyway, and the Phuket News. Let's see. Anon says, but remember that Indonesia has over 270 million population. Thailand's a lot smaller. Yeah, that's true. Carl says, well, JC, if you do return to North Carolina, I won't be returning to North Carolina if I come. But if I come back, yeah. You may have a visit from the National Guard to see if you're a good boy and taking your shot. We're one of 5 states to implement compliance. Are you serious right now? Well, I definitely won't be coming back to North Carolina then. That's for sure. Yep, I heard about that too. There's someone was arrested for. I'll get to that in one second, Anon. Let me see. It looks like we have a. Yeah, Christ, or whatever you call your name, you can't say stuff like that on YouTube. Put it somewhere else. Let's see here. Another article that I think you guys will find interesting that Anon's put up, or that Anon's setting a link that I was going to get to anyway. Prachinbury clinic raided for allegedly selling fake mod vaccines. So a proprietor of a clinic in the central Thailand province of Prachinbury has been taken in for questioning after patients allege he was selling them fake doses of the mod vaccine. The owner is set to be questioned today as Patanachi Pamorn Pibul of the Wangtakan province. Yesterday, police raided his business, the Calarb Clinic. Clients had reported the clinic was selling mod vaxes for $1,500 baht a dose. One patient said that she transferred around 6,000 baht for vaccines for a family of 4. However, on the appointment date, the clinic staff failed to show her the vaccine's packaging. The woman adds that none of the family members suffered any adverse side effects, albeit once the woman reportedly learned from a friend that mod was actually not officially available in Thailand yet, she contacted health officials and filed a police report. I guess the investigating officer, I can't pronounce his name, starts with a P, says the raid did not uncover any mod vaccines, and that clinic, which primarily focuses on midwifery, might be prosecuted for fraud despite not finding any mod doses. Police did find dangerous drugs at the clinic. Thus, the proprietor may also be presented with charges of operating without a proper license and possessing harmful drugs. The clinic has been closed indefinitely. It was not reported what, quote, dangerous drugs were on the premises of the clinic that specializes in midwifery. So, there you go on that. Let me go over here and catch up on the comments. Wow, 16 up and 4 down. Oh, man. Hopefully we'll get some more thumbs up on that one. That would be nice. Tim says, wow, next year, them Thais are timely folk, huh? Well, hey, man. What can I say, right? Stuck in Florida says, nobody in the government is going to make anyone get anything, Carl. If it's required by your employer, you may have to make a choice, but you still have a choice. Just a sucky one. Are you talking about in America or Thailand, Stuck? I'm curious. Because if you're talking about in America, I don't know. I think that may be possible. I think they're already talking about going door to door over there. We'll get back to cyber crimes in a minute. Lyle says, Tim, you're the one who was late today. That's funny. Oh, in America. Okay. Stuck says in America. I don't know, man. I hope you're right. I do hope you're right, Stuck. I do hope you're right, but I don't know. I really don't. Tim says, Lyle, yes, I was, but in my defense, when I saw JC was on, I came running. Good for you, Tim. Carl says it's Stuck. They won't force you, but make life so difficult. Most will. Example, vaccine passports being attempted now, that they're unconstitutional. They can't do that. That's already been ruled out. They're unconstitutional. Not going to happen. Healthcare workers are being fired. If they don't, children can't return to class. Also, all that's got to be unconstitutional. It has to be. In the United States, it has to be. Link to the Anti-Fake News Center. Let's check this out. Pro tip, probably a good plan not to post stuff that contradicts the positions on the above website. I agree. We were talking about the whole purpose of this was to talk about cyber crimes and how to stay out of trouble. And one of the ways is to not post anything that's fake, and to not post anything that is being going against what the Thai government's saying. News that is currently in the spotlight. It says, be careful, don't be fooled by the scammers. There are some scams going on over here. Let me read. Fake news, don't share. Let's read this one. Let's see if we can find out some information here. Oh, my page just reset on me. Sorry, guys. It says fake news, don't share, government to use water as a replacement for the... Yeah, I'm not going to say that. According to the message forwarded in the subject matter, government, the quote, this is obviously fake news. So don't take this for real. It says, according to the message forwarded in the subject matter, government to use water as a replacement for the COVID-19 vaccine to the people. That's obviously fake. The Anti-Fake News Center has conducted a fact check by the Department of Disease Control. Ministry of Health found that such an issue is false information. It's posting stuff like that could get you in trouble, whether it be on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, any of those things that you feel like posting. Make sure you're posting facts, not fiction, and make sure you're posting stuff based on current news here in Thailand, the latest up to date. It says false information from the case of sharing news with a message stating that the government brought water, blah 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 blah. We all know that's fake and not good. If you if you find yourself unsure of whether or not the news is fake, please do your own research. That would be great for you guys. I don't want you guys getting in trouble. Stuck in Florida says, Carl, like I said, it's a choice, but it sucks. Well, they very well may be implementing that right now. Stuck and Carl, both of you guys may be right. And I don't think, but I don't think they can. I don't think America can legally do that. That sounds very unconstitutional to me. I'm not a constitutionalist. It just sounds unconstitutional. We already know the vaccine passports have been ruled out in America because they are unconstitutional. But I don't know about the door-to-door stuff or the forced being to take something for a job. I can't speak intelligently on it, therefore I'm not going to speak on it. Anna says, on the clinic, my girlfriend pointed out to me that they gave the shots but refused to give the guarantee paper, aka the vaccine certificate. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Roger McGee, I got J&J poked the other day. I think I got every side effect, but the paper said I might possibly get, but still worth it. Fair enough, Roger. As long as it's worth it to you, man. Like I said on the live stream on Tuesday, I'm all about individual choice and individual freedom. So whatever you feel is best for you, more power to you, brother. That's what, like I said, more power to you. That I know that's one of the reasons you went home and was to be able to get a vax, and I'm glad that you were able to get one. I'm sorry you had to go through the side effects. Carl says it's stuck. Yep, YouTube maybe enough quit like police are doing. Things will change. It's akin to yeah, credit score. Talk bad about things and you can't buy a home, get a car, or a loan. I'll leave that one up just to see if it'll pass. But it probably won't. Tim says I've gotten both mod pokes and I feel fine. I felt a little wonky for the next day after the poke, but other than that, that's good, man. Robert Jr. says, oh my God, anyone question if you still have to keep having the test? What is the real purpose of this jab shot thing? If it doesn't do what it should, what is the real purpose? That is a question that will be answered in the years to come, Robert, in my opinion. I don't understand taking being forced to take something that doesn't prevent, like you can take it and then you can still get the disease. I don't really understand how that works, how people can be so stringent on it, but they are, and it is what it is. And I says, DoMoreLife not constitutional. Are you kidding? This is the brave new USA and the Constitution no longer matters. That's getting political. And while I 1,000,000,100,000,000,000,000% agree with you, I'm not going to get into discussion on that. But yeah, you got Carl has a good point about the YouTube thing. And you make a very good point as well. Ross agrees with Carl. Tim says, Carl, yep, and it's not considered sexist either. Tim says, Anon, has the Constitution ever mattered? I don't know. We're not going to get in. You guys know you guys know that we're not going to get into political stuff on here. Yeah, they're not FDA approved in America. They're only approved for emergency use authorization. So, again, we're going to just keep removing his comments because he doesn't understand how we talk on here. Carl says, yep, most men know. Not going to get into that either, guys. It's not what we're here to talk about. Come on. And I says at 10, the interpretation of it mattered, but now they just ignore the courts. So, okay. Okay. Political. Roger says, what about my right to not be infected with the deadly disease by someone I stand beside in a public place? That happens every day, Roger. Like, what about your right for that? If you're worried about standing beside someone who has a deadly disease, then walk around with a mask. I mean, I don't understand. And you've had the jab. So if you had the jab, and you believe in science, why are you worried about standing beside somebody that may or may not have had the jab? I don't get it. I don't know. What am I missing? Please explain, by all means. I'm not being critical. I'm just asking. Ross says, Carl, the court is packed already. More political stuff. We're not going to do this, guys. Carl, that's the question I ask. Tim says, JC, you are in Thailand. How much individual choice and freedom do you have? Not much. Not much, Tim. Not much. That's for sure. Prep 4 says, I had both shots ages ago, and I'm absolutely fine. 0 side effects. The main reason was to go to Pattaya eventually. Good, Prep 4. Just glad to hear some good news on that. 100%. We'll show. Peter's put up a comment that I actually can't show that one. Basically says when you're over here where I'm at, the best thing to do is to not talk about it. And I would agree 110%. We're not no more. Okay. The political comments that are coming through here, I'm just going to remove them. I'm not even going through them. Jay says, how's the sandboxes going? Is there nightlife? There's no nightlife, but the sandbox seems to be going pretty well. Travelers are coming in and people are returning. So hopefully everything works out good. Robert says, shout out to you, bro. Anna says, Carl, fully 100% absolutely agree with you. I would probably agree too, but I'm not reading any more political comment. We don't do politics on this channel. You guys know that. Robert says, shout out to you, bro. Respect and enjoy your live stream and videos channel. Thank you, Robert. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And I says, sorry for the rabbit hole, JC. No worries. Ross says, social distancing needs a theme song. I vote for the Police Don't Stand So Close to Me. That's funny. I like that, Ross. Anon says, JX, nightlife is off the table pretty much all throughout the country for at least the next month. Yeah, and there'll probably be longer than that, in all honesty, but you're right, Anon. Peter Knapp says, yeah, we're not talking about that either, Peter. Sorry, that's not, your first sentence may be true, but the rest of it's subjective stuff. So we can't do that. Peter said, Roger's laughing at Ross. Peter says, I love the land of Thailand with all my heart, but if not having the jab means I never go there again, so be it. Yeah. And that's, again, personal choice. No need to be sorry, Peter. Just that's not what we do on this channel, and that's it. No worries. Nothing to be for anybody to be upset about. And I think everything's good. Okay, we wanted to talk about cybercrime specifically, and then I'm going to read some more news for you because there is more news on here that I feel like you guys would be interested in. What are cybercrimes in Thailand? This comes from the Thailand Cybercrime Law, cybercrimelaw.net. This is a little snippet from Google. It says any person who commits any act by electronic means to eavesdrop a third party's computer data in process being sent in a computer system and not intended for public interest or general purpose shall be subject to imprisonment for no longer than 3 years or a fine not more than 60,000 baht. That's a different type of law. What are the top 5 cybercrimes? 1, phishing scams. 2, website spoofing. 3, ransomware. 4, malware. And 5, IoT hacking. We want to talk about current trends in cybercrime. Let's see. There is Gregory. Hey, Gregory. Good afternoon. All the people I know in Sydney, Australia have only had minor, if any, at all side effects from the jab, and I prefer to protect my health. That's why I had the jab. And that is your choice, brother. More power to you. Peter says, same as you, man. I understand how Thailand rolls. Their way is their way. That's true. Carl says, if you really want to know who's oppressed, just look at what or who you can't talk about. Enough said. I'll stop now. Thank you. But you have even though you may stop now, Carl, and I appreciate that. Your point is well taken. I agree. Cybercrime in Thailand, current trends and solutions. This was September 8, 2020. So, I'm not sure. I was trying to find you guys. These are like hacking and that kind of thing, but I want to find cybercrime in Thailand that's like defamation and all of that good stuff. So let's see what we can find here. Oh, I remember where I had that article at. Sorry, guys. It was in the Tiger. I think I read you guys that article at the very beginning. So basically, here's what it boils down to. If you put out any information that could impede national security of Thailand, then you are in violation of the Cybercrimes Act. If you put out any false, misleading information that could cause panic or problems in Thailand, then you are in violation of the Computer Crimes Act. So, if you put out fake news, that's what they consider fake news. Again, you have to remember, Thailand is going to be subjective about some of the stuff that you put out. If you make an opinion, as I made earlier, about containing this virus, be sure to be very clear about it. You understand, like I understand what they're trying to do. I do. I understand what they're trying to do. I don't, however, feel like it'll work. I feel like containment is long gone. That the time for that is long gone. If you can't, the rule of thumb on that one, to the best of my knowledge, is if you can't find patient zero, you can't contain it. And now what we have is a community problem. So we don't see a cluster. We don't see a small cluster anywhere or a small outbreak. We see communities that outbreak. And as the numbers have shown, we've had 9,000 cases a day for the last few days. And we had 8,000 something yesterday, but it was still a high number, and had a record number of deaths here in Thailand today. Obviously, you can look around the world and you can look at the lockdowns that were put in place. I even heard it mentioned last night on a news source that in their opinion, this is not my opinion, this was in another news source's opinion, the lockdowns just don't work. They don't work. And the reason they don't work is because you don't have a vaccinated population. Chambree's clamping down on stuff, and this just in from the Tiger. I will read from it. It says Chambry closes 2 factories and construction camp. Work will continue. Yesterday, the Chambry, and this is important about what Chambry's trying to do, because they're trying to get ready for October. Pattaya is scheduled to reopen in October, and that's a big one. That's a real big one. It says yesterday the Chambry governor announced that 2 more factories and a construction worker camp will be closed after COVID cases surfaced at the locations. As part of Thailand's sealed bubble strategy, the locations are closed down, but the staff still gets to live and work, while they also quarantine at the same time. Leaving or entering the location is forbidden without being first granted permission from the Chambry public health officials. Per the governor's 56/2564 order, the following locations are closed. 1, I'm not going to read those to you. It just says the aforementioned locations have already been closed and will stay until at least August the 10th. So we keep seeing these dates go farther and farther into the future, and I'm just wondering, like, when are some of these things going to stop? Jay says, what other places are looking, or what other places are people looking to travel besides Mexico? I think Mexico is a good choice right now. They're also traveling to some European countries. I heard that, what was the name of that country? Very near Russia, in Eastern European countries right now, seem to have good reputations with travel right now. The Maldives is open. There are several other island nations open around the world that you could look at. Poland, sure, why not? But there are many nations that are open to this. I would do, honestly, Jay, it's a great question that I can't answer right off the top of my head, but I'll tell you what I would do. I would just Google it. I would Google that, what you just typed in, and see what you come up with. Gregory says, I am still focused on travel to Thailand by the end of the year or January 2022. I would focus more toward January 2022, Gregory. That's just me. That's just me. Things could change, but at the rate that people are being vaccinated over here, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time. Pepe says, well, looks like my Thailand trip won't be until 2022. Don't blame you. Tim says, human beings are not made to be locked down. We're a social being, not a solitary one. That is a very good point, Mr. Tim. I agree. Pepe says, Poland. That's funny. Tim is laughing at Carl. Carl says, the beatings won't stop until morale improves. I agree, 100%. Morale is during this time is way down in Thailand. I mean, way down in Thailand. And I don't know how it is in other places in the world, but they have implemented now. Let me read you this. You guys are going to love this. Oh, by the way, I'm not even going to read the article. That's how silly this is. But police warn to be careful about adding friends online. Some aren't real friends. Thanks. Let's see. I got to read you this one. I'll clear up something, but I also want to read you. Here it is. This is how, in my opinion, this is bad. China's nice, North Korea. Come on, guys. Stay with me here. Peter says, let me give you a true example. We all have choices of how and what we think. I spoke to 2 Thai Airways pilots about the earth being flat. I posted this story on the internet. Because it has that earth being flat in there, you know YouTube won't allow that, right? I don't know if you know that or not, but they won't allow that. So we all agree that the earth is not flat. Or I'm going to say the earth is not flat. Let's put it that way. But that is funny, Peter. Tim says, I'm Hungarian. Maybe I will go to Budapest and retire. That's funny. Ken says the Maldives is open. Yep, I agree. Pepe, did you hear what I just said? I guess not. Where's my moderators, by the way? Let's see. Peter says, when I left, I was pulled in the airport and told to be careful and quiet. I believe it. I believe it. Tim says, I always wanted to go to Ireland also. I think Ireland would be a cool place to go. Scotland would be a pretty good place to go. It's all good, Pepe. Gregory says that Tim, Ireland is on my to-do list as it is my heritage. I think I am only one in my family that has not been there. No, I believe you, Peter. I believe you. 100% truth. I believe you. And this is why. Listen to this article. This is why Travel and Tourism 2021 here in Thailand. This should tell you kind of where we're at, right? For COVID-19, officials want you to stop talking on trains. British trains are known for being silent, with nobody disturbing others with chatting. Now, British expats can get a taste of home as Thailand's train authorities add to their COVID-19 safety precautions the request of no talking on trains to avoid the spread of the virus. The Department of Rail Transport has already implemented health and safety regulations to attempt to avoid the transmission of COVID-19 infections for travelers and commuters on trains. Face masks are required and social distancing guidelines have been mandated. But now rail officials want to get people to keep their mouths shut, according to the Tiger. This is from Tiger. Authorities hope that even with masks, the less we open our mouths, the less chance the airborne virus can escape an infected person, and it makes its way to anyone else. They have requested that people on trains avoid conversations with each other and even talking on the phone for the duration of their journey. Further C-19 prevention measures are also in place aside from the socially distanced, mask, and closed-mouth ridership. All travelers must use the Thai China app on their phone to check in before their journey to aid in contact tracing should an outbreak occur. They are also required to wash their hands with hand sanitizer as they board the train and exit the train at their destination. The DRT confirms all these measures are following the guidelines set out by the CCSA, especially following the new, and I'm quoting it here, lockdown restrictions in Bangkok and its surrounding 5 provinces and the 4 hard-hit provinces in the deep south of Thailand. Thailand's rail service will also reduce the number of trains running between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. as these 10 provinces have a curfew in effect during those hours. The new restrictions and the request for your silence when aboard trains to curb the spread of the virus will be in effect until at least July 25th. Source is ASEAN Now. Now, I don't think people understand the significance of this because if you don't live in Thailand or if you're not familiar with how people get to work around Thailand, a lot of people use the train for working. A lot of people are looking at using the train for working. So that, that's just another headline there. Let me see the comment section here. Yeah, Carl, that could happen for sure. Let's see, where was I at here? Hood Famous, what's up, man? He says, I will have to settle down with a Latina and make her wear a mask so I can make believe she's Thai. That's a good one, Hood Famous. I like that. Peter says, I have now bought a old camper and I will only travel as far as my camper will take me. Fair enough. That's what my dad does. So, and he loves it. Pepe says, I'm going to buy a motorcycle and tour the USA and Alaska. Actually, that would be really cool. Take some video while you do it. That'd be awesome, man. Gregory says maybe they will say no breathing when out in public. They might. You never know. I mean, you honestly never know what the next restriction could be. Carl, that's possible. Peter says, Pepe, that's cool, man. Anon says, for what it's worth, anyway, from the tourist areas and the overcrowded Bangkok area, it's not that much different than usual. The interprovincial travel restrictions do cut in, but that's about it. Fair enough. Robert, you got a good point there. I feel like. Roger says, how many have been infected in the past because someone else thought wearing a mask is too hard or getting a little shot is so terrible? Oh, well, it happens. Sorry, I don't get that. That's fair. That's totally fair, Roger. Totally fair comment there. You don't get it. That's cool, man. I don't have the numbers on how many have been infected in the past because someone else thought wearing a mask is too hard. I don't know. I don't know. If you are a person that has not had the jab, it's probably a good idea to wear a mask. If you're someone that's jabbed up and you're confident in the science, then I don't know. At least here in Thailand, you still have to wear a mask. But in America, it's a little bit different, I believe. And as far as getting a little shot, how terrible it is, you have to remember, we don't know what the implications are on getting the little shot. I would encourage people that think that there are no side effects with these vaccines. I mean serious side effects. To go to BitChute and type in side effects of the jabs and look at some of those videos. I can't talk about them on here, or I would. Look at some of the actual doctors that have done researches and that have done research and studies on this. I saw the video from the guy that actually created the mRNA vaccine, who gave stern warnings about it. So, you know, that it again, if you live in America, you're supposed to have the right to choose whether you get it or whether you don't. You know, the average flu can kill somebody. It can develop into pneumonia and kill people, and we don't require people to get flu shots every year in America. So I really don't know what to say other than I love you and I respect your opinions, Roger. That's really all I can say, bro. I don't really know how to have further dialogue on that particular issue. But you have every right to feel the way you do, by all means. I'm not knocking what you're saying. I'm just saying, I'm just from my perspective, right? My perspective has changed a little bit, as you all know. I've decided to wait as long as possible before getting to having to get the jab, because I have sourced and sought out alternative information. I've made some decisions. Again, I can't talk about it on YouTube, which is why I'm going to start uploading to another platform today. I've made the decision that it's in my best interest to wait due to my underlying health conditions and the potential for something to go wrong. I think it would be best for me to wait until we see more of what's actually going to happen from these things. For example, nobody knew the Sino that jab wasn't going to work against the Delta, and nobody knew that. What was it that I said? After your second dose of the Sino, you lose 40% of your antibodies every 50 days, or was it 50% every 40 days? One of the two, right? We didn't know that. We had no idea. And that was something that came to light after many of the jabs have been given. So I'm just kind of waiting around, seeing what happens. My dad took the Pfizer. He's had no problems with it. I feel like there are many people that won't have any problems with it, but I feel like there are some that may, and I kind of just want to see the correlation myself. When I'm out in public, I do everything I can to make sure that I protect myself and others, because as of right now, even when I originally registered for a jab, I was unable to get one here in Thailand, and have subsequently not been able to get one either. So we'll see. And again, Roger, that's a fair point. So, it is what it is. But I encourage everybody to have their own opinion, do their own thing. And eventually we're going to have to learn how to live with it, like one way or the other. Tim says, what? Can't look at a woman. What's the point of living then? I agree, Tim. That would be a very bad day for sure. Ross says, Carl, that happened a long time ago for me. Anytime we can wear the same size pants. Gregory says, maybe we can all learn to meme, LOL, meme or mine. Either way, that's funny. Ken says, next up, silence on planes. Let's hope not, but you never know, man. You never know. Let's see here. Dino, how are you, man? Good to see you. Glad you dropped by. Ross says, Carl, have you seen the size of U.S. women? They try to convince all size 13 is small. Easy, Ross. Carl says, Life and Life, Ross, here in America, we should all, yeah. And it's kind of working that way pretty much across the world, Carl, right now, unfortunately. Robert says, control, and more control, bring it. That seems to be what's going down. But again, even here in Thailand, they're controlling the movement of people, and they're controlling businesses being open. They're controlling a lot of stuff. And I'm sure it's the same way in America. I haven't been in America since July of 2017. So it's been a while, but I do keep up with the news, and I keep up with my family over there, and they tell me about it. And it's a little bit scary, to be honest. The Ralph says, hey, Jeremy, everyone is always looking at their phones already. I guess the authorities figure people can just text one another. Probably. Hood Famous says, I'm glad I went to Thailand in 2019 and would have been pissed and mad. Yeah. I'm glad you got to experience that in 2019. You didn't have to wait. That's for sure. Carl says, yep, the average one. All right, we're not doing that either because YouTube doesn't like that. Body shaming, that's not going to happen on here. Robert says, what's next? Public surveillance and controlling food supply. Not cool at all. Again, we're not gonna get into the what's next and all this hyperbole. Sorry, Robert, no offense, but just not gonna do it. Ross says, Carl, all throughout history, men brought stability, women brought sex appeal. That's true. Stuck says, both of my female friends are in good shape. I guess I'm lucky. Yes, you are a lucky man, Stuck. You are definitely a lucky man. Prep for it says, I have no problem following other countries' laws and mandates. I will respect them. Good, Prep for it. That's what I kind of try to explain to people. Laws and mandate, any word, if they will make it against the law to bring babies or screaming kids on a plane, that would be fantastic. Yes, it would be. That would be fantastic. I've been through that myself. Hood Famous says, New York City is a war zone right now. I went to Coney Island today, and it was depressing. It looks like a hurricane passed through there. I'm sorry to hear that. Because I've only been to New York City a couple times in my life, and the one time that I went that I can really remember being there was an absolute pleasure, and I just couldn't imagine seeing it today. Carl says, Ross, yep, It was a fair exchange for protection, provision, and security. Cool. Okay, let's try to stay, Carl. I hear you. I see your comment. Let's try to stay away from the political stuff, please. Robert says, agree with you, Wandering Spirit. All right, well, Wandering Spirit's obviously been putting up messages that can't be. Let's see what he's talking about. Yes, you are right. Well, I'm looking at some of your messages, Wandering Spirit. You're right on that, but we can't put it up because of YouTube. Yeah, YouTube won't allow us to put those up, even though you make some very good points. Robert says, agree with you, Wandering Spirit, and I agree with his first comment at least. I don't know about the well, the second one's probably true also. Robert, Carl says, curious how HIPAA protection isn't enforced now. I know, right? I didn't know if that was a thing yet, because I haven't been to America in a while, but it's very interesting. Hood Famous says, we can't say the V word, guys, and even talk a lot about this. YouTube's always watching. It's 100% correct. I'm being a little lenient on the V word, Hood Famous, because YouTube is not giving us any trouble about using the V word, so kind of okay with that. Stuck in Florida is laying out the law here. Thank you, Stuck, very, very much. He says, okay, Chad, if you don't want your comments deleted, quit using full names of it and the vax. That's very, very good, Stuck. Also, don't make this a political discussion because we don't do politics on here. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Peter says, wait as long as you can, brother. I am, Peter, and thank you for understanding. I'm waiting, and I'm also healthy, and I know that I'm healthy. Just because I haven't gotten the jab doesn't mean I haven't gotten a test. So that's something else people have to keep in mind as well. And some of the people that I know have gotten C19, and their antibody levels are higher right now, 6 months after they got it, than some of the antibody levels from at least the first dose of many of the shots that have been given. So, I don't know what that means, because I don't know how important that is, because I am not a doctor and this is not medical advice. I will wait till next year to take it, says Hood Famous. Cool. Tim says, you do have the right to choose, but if you choose wrongly, you have to live with the consequences. Welcome to freedom. 100%, Tim. 100% agree with you, bro. 100%. If I make the wrong choice, I got to live with it. That's just like failing in life, right? Or failing at a business venture or anything else. If you make the wrong choice, you got to live with the consequences. And that's, it is what it is. Robert says, definitely a mad world right now. Hope everyone is safe. Me too. Me too, Robert. I agree. Roger says, anybody. Care to explain? Anybody here have polio? Right. Polio was eradicated, 100%. So I don't understand. Again, I don't understand. Other than the point that you're making, you're using, even though you're talking about a disease, you're talking about these new vaxes are mRNA vaxes. Okay, polio was not made from an mRNA vax. It was made from a downgraded version of the disease itself, just like a flu shot. So, I get your point. Right? I get your point. But at the same time, I honestly don't believe we're going to be able to eradicate it. I just don't If we do, it's going to take years and years and years. And, people need to be able to have their choice of freedom. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Okay. And you, Roger, who I love and respect dearly, have your opinion. So that's fine. Just like many of us on here don't see eye to eye on many issues. This is just one that we fall into limbo on, brother. It don't change the way I feel about you at all. Love you to death, but I just believe that people should have the right to choose when it comes to that, or when it comes to pretty much anything. They should have the right to choose. Lyle says, does this mean you have given up on the diet? No, this means I cannot afford the supplements that I was originally that I had on the diet. And I will tell you that after a month of taking those supplements and feeling outstanding, this last month has been terrible. I felt so good on those supplements that I couldn't believe how the change in my body after I was off of that diet, Lyle. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'll get a second job here and be able to purchase some more of those supplements. That would be good. Peter says the problems will come. One pill will not suit all. Fair enough. Stuck says, Wonder Spirit, take a break. I didn't read his last comment, so I'm not sure what he's saying. Hood Famous says, yeah, Jeremy, stay safe out there. I feel the big bug is different in every country. I agree. I think it's not only is it different, but it's being handled differently. I've heard of that term, Robert. Won't get into it because I don't know enough about it. Stuck says, Robert McGee, you can lead a horse to water. That's true. Very, very true. Tim says, I have a dog. I know what shedding is all about. Peter says, easy, Ross. Ken says, I've had the vaccine and feel confident that it works. No longer wear a mask in public. Fair enough. Anon says, sorry, being dragged away by a girlfriend. That's okay. No problem, Anon. Hood says, Jeremy, make a channel so we could have these conversations because everyone very interested and wants to vent. Definitely going to do that. It's going to be on a different platform. Jake says, I left California and went to Florida. Freedom. I hear you, brother. That's where most of my family is right now, is in Florida. They did it for the same reason. Peter says, you're in good spirit, my friend, and that's good to see. Peter says the jab works. I don't disagree. And let me tell you why I don't disagree with that statement. I don't disagree that it works. I never disagree. You'll never hear me say that ever, except in the case of the Sino, which has been proven ineffective against a certain variant, right? However, you'll never hear me say that it doesn't work because the numbers don't lie, right? When the more people that get vaccinated, the less cases and the less severity of the cases you see arise. Look at America. Great example, right? So I'll never argue that they don't work. My concern, and this is my personal concern, and I have every right to have a personal concern about it, is what is that going to do to me in 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? Is it going to have a long-lasting effect on me? It may not. It very well may not. But it's something that I'm considering, and I'm using my brain and my ability to do my own research and think for myself in order to make that decision. Other people are using their brain and doing their research to make the decision to go ahead and get it as fast as possible. Do it. I mean, like it's not a. I'm not here to tell people in any way, form, or fashion. I'm not here to discourage people from getting a jab. By all means, get a jab if that's what you want. Do it. It proves that the numbers do go down. I agree 100%. And I don't agree. I mean, I don't disagree that the jab works. I agree that the jab works. So you won't find any argument for me there. Roger says, I've got a mechanical brace on my left arm now. I feel like the Terminator. Don't argue with me. First of all, I'm not arguing with you, Roger. That's for sure. And I hope your arm is better, bud. By the way, I really do hope your arm is better. 100%. Gregory says, create a Discord channel. No controls on what you say there. Buzzing Patia has Discord and everyone there chats freely. Cool. That's an idea. Peter says, we're on the same page and have a immune system. Example, I have stopped eating meat because it's healthier. Exactly. Thank God we are the age we are, man. I agree, Peter. Gregory says, okay, have a great one. Everyone going for a bushwalk. Stuck says, not all are MRA. Get the Astra or J-Jab. You're right. They're not all of them are the mRNA. But I have read, and again, I can't get into it on YouTube, Stuck. I can't get into it on YouTube. But the AZ was causing some issues with an issue that I already have. And that's been the least available jab over here, by the way. And the J-jab that you're referring to right now, currently in Thailand, is not even, like, they don't even consider it, because they had issues with it somewhere at some point. They don't consider it qualified or whatever to get in here. So, again, I just want to reinstate, this was not even the intention of the video. I understand people feel very strongly about this, and it brings up a lot of emotions, and people get really emotional. But that's why you see me not getting emotional, is because emotion in a time like this is just going to lead to a bunch of people with a bunch of hurt feelings and a bunch of anger and a bunch of resentment. And that's the last thing I want, right? I just want people to do their, actually, I want people to be happy. I want people to do what makes them happy. Okay. And for me, waiting to see what's going to happen makes me happy. Now, I will tell you this. If the AZ becomes available over here in Thailand, that would be one that I would consider registering for. Even though it had some issues that could potentially harm me. But the fact of the matter is, all of them have issues that could potentially harm anyone. So it's the bottom line is, at some point, I'm going to have to take one, just like everybody else. Everybody will be required to take it at some point for some reason, either whether it be job, travel, some kind of recommendation from a doctor, or the actual government of a country steps in and says, hey, you got to have one before you can come here. So everybody's going to have to take it eventually, one way or the other. And if you don't agree with my stance, don't hate me because you disagree with my stance. Just understand that I'm an individual and I'm a free thinker, and I am who I am. That's it. And you guys are who you are. Hood Famous says, Roger, he's laughing at the Terminator McGee. Yeah, I like that. Still waiting on videos of that. Definitely gonna make that video live. In between trying to look for second jobs and trying to get these live streams out to keep everybody updated. It's been a little difficult on being able to do that. Saturday's live stream will be a all-encompassing live stream of about the last 6 months, and I encourage everybody to make sure they're here on Saturday. Carl says, we live in an age of hyperbole, stoicism, and purpose is the cure. Okay, that's cool. Hood Famous says Florida, very nice. That's it. Good night, Tam. Peter said the 2012 Olympics opening ceremony is about the virus and even has a puppet of Boris Johnson sick in a hospital bed, all plain sight. That's how it rolls. Interesting. Stuck says the problem can cause the same problems as the cure in perfectly healthy people, just likely not to take out grandma if you have the cure, because remember, none are 100%. I 100% agree with you on that, Stuck. And I've often said, and I still stand by, if you're in a position, if you have underlying conditions, or if you're an elderly person who is subject to not being in good health, and by all means, please go get the jab. Please. To help yourself, for sure. Hey, Matt Tech, good to see you, bud. Little late, but it's okay. Stuck says, I know of 2 anthropologists with their doctorates that can explain how the earth is 6,000 years old. Doesn't mean that they are right because they are specialists in their field. Just saying. Yeah, it's a fair point. Fair point. 100% fair point. And I agree. LG says JJ is similar to Oxford vaccine principle. Peter says, stay cool, brother. I must work now. Great to see you focused and well. Thank you, Peter. Yes, LG easy is being made in Thailand, but it is under a extremely slow process right now, and they are focusing on the elderly first. I am 100% certain of this because I've done my research. Stuck says, I didn't take the jab for myself. I took it for my fellow humans. That's a very noble act, Stuck. Very noble act of you. Don't know what else to say about that. That's good. I mean that's a very noble act for you to do something like that. And that's the same reason that I make sure I practice social distancing. I wear a mask and I keep my hands sanitized and washed when I'm out in public and at home, is to make sure that I don't get it. I also have another regimen that I follow that's alternative. And when these things become available to me, I'll let you guys know. And if I get a jab, I'll certainly let you guys know. My intention is not to not ever get a jab. Let me be clear about that. My intention is not to not ever get a jab. My intention is to get the jab, but I want to see if there are any other. I want to give it as much time as I can. Reasonably, within a reasonable amount of time, I want to give it as much time as I can, because I want to see if there's any other of these things that pop up, like what happened with the Sinovacs. So yeah, same reason I wore a mask. Stuck. Yeah, same thing here. Same thing here. It is what it is. it just is what it is at this point. I want to read about the anti-Mac. Jay, I'll get your point or your comment in just a second. So the Tiger has published an article about the confusion and canceled appointments over new vaccine mix and match policy. So the WHO came out and said mixing jabs was a dangerous trend. Okay, so this is the response that they're having. Okay. Wow, that's funny. With contradicting statements over the mixing of C19 jab brands, many in Thailand's medical field have been confused, and some even canceled appointments today. I think this was yesterday when this was released. This week, the AZ Vax was approved to be used as a third booster shot and second dose for those who received a Sino shot. But just as Thailand announced the approval, a chief scientist from the World Health Organization warned against the mixing of vaccines, calling it a dangerous trend. The PM ordered the Public Health Ministry to review the mix and match practice. Vaccine services even stopped at some hospitals in Chiang Mai, and Provincial Public Health Office also announced a suspension. The Hangdong Hospital in the northern province made an announcement on Facebook saying, quote, in order to end the confusion, all health units are ordered to stop vaccine service on July 14, 2021. So that was yesterday. In Nonthaburi, the Provincial Health Office, which was the first to adopt the new policy on vaccines, postponed plans to administer the AZ jab to those who had already received a dose of the Sino. The administering of an AZ dose to those who had received a Sino dose is said to provide more defense against the highly transmissible Delta, according to the Public Health Minister Newton, who chaired the National Communicable Disease Committee meeting when it approved the new policy. After the WHO's warning, it says, Prayut, I'm quoting from the article, not me, it says, Prayut called for a study of the use of different brands together. A government spokesperson later said the Prime Minister did not order the policy to be suspended. So that kind of clears up the confusion around there, because there was people saying, again, you have to worry about the quote unquote fake news that we were talking about. Don't want to provide any fake news, because the bottom line is, if you provide fake news about Thailand through a computer in any form or fashion, through any means of social media, website, whatever the case may be, you can face up to 5 years in prison or 100,000 baht fine, or both. So that's what I want you to know about the Cyber Crimes Act. That was what the thing was really about. And thank you, Anon, for putting that article up, because the Tiger just came out with the total of 10 cases in Phuket. And now it says travelers from dark red and red zones must be vaccinated to enter Phuket. So that means if I, in Bangkok, who have not been vaccinated yet, if I wanted to enter Phuket, I have to be vaccinated in order to enter there. And as you see these other places open up, you'll likely see, presumably, you would see the same thing. So in Samui Plus, you will likely see you can't go to Koh Samui unless you get the vax. That not yet. That's not maybe been made law or made public. I'm just saying, presumably, that will be the next step. So. Jay says, you talked about dating and meeting people in your last stream. Do you notice people being afraid to interact now? Yes, very much. There are a lot of people that are afraid to interact, Jay, and it's noticeable. The Thai media does a real good job of making sure people are scared. And you know, is there a right to be scared? Sure. We're facing a very dangerous illness. Is fear mongering acceptable? I'm not a big fan of fear mongering, but is there a right to be afraid? Sure, absolutely. Stuck says, don't take me wrong. I understand people's hesitancy about taking something so new. I would never judge someone that chooses either way. Fair enough, Stuck. And I didn't take it that way. You've been around long enough, bro. I know you're not a judgmental person like that. So I didn't misunderstand what you were trying to say. But thank you for the comment. I do appreciate that. And you know, you guys just don't I just hope nobody misunderstands what I'm saying. Like, I'm not telling people not to do anything. I'm telling you, if especially if you're in a high risk group, get a jab. Go do it. Get a vaccine. But for me, I just want to wait a little longer. That's all. Stuck says, Lyle, no problem. I'm getting luckier with the ladies. Good for you, Stuck. That's awesome. If you're getting lucky, listen, man, if you're getting luckier with the ladies in the USA, when you come to Thailand, you're definitely not going to have a problem. Wearing the mask. Stuck says, I hear you, man. Law says, yes, you are. That's funny. The Ralph says, Stuck in Florida, best to wear a face mask till beginning of next year until we see how this V plays out. I agree, Ralph. I'm all for safety measures, safety standards. I'm all for it. it's proven. I haven't gotten sick yet, and like I said, I have my own regimen. That's one reason I'm gonna start up a new platform, or I'm gonna start a channel on another platform, so that I can talk about it and not have to worry about the video being taken down or anything, and tell you guys what I'm doing and all that good stuff. I look forward to seeing some people's reactions, and because I hope you'll do your own research on what I say after I explain my situation to you, and you'll be like, I actually kind of makes sense, Jeremy. Yeah, okay. I'm hoping that's what you'll think, but if not, that's okay too, because I'm not, like Stuck said, I'm not here to similar to what Stuck said, I'm not here to judge anybody. Whether you do or don't, your decision. LG says, pay for play as usual, no problems online, and massage parlors been following a few travelers in Pattaya, no mask, even no raincoats on some. Yeah, you definitely can't say all that on here, LG. That's way, way, way too much. Why can I not delete that comment? Oh, Stuck in Florida already did. Good. Thank you, Stuck, for catching that. Way too much graphic detail in that one. But to his point, online dating has really been a thing over here. I also want to caution you guys, if you're interacting with girls and they are members of the OF website, and you guys know what I'm talking about if you're interacting with them, be careful, because your credit card statements or your debit card statements will reveal that, and Thailand could possibly take a look at that. Oh, you let me read it first? Okay. Thank you, bud. But be careful, because Thailand is really scrutinizing those websites now. And I kind of wish they wouldn't, because a lot of people are staying alive because of those websites. The homelessness, there's a guy that has a channel that's nothing but a Debbie Downer, but I will give him credit. I'm not going to call his channel's name, but I will give him credit. He is showing the truth. And in Pattaya, some people have been told, they're basically picking out square blocks of pavement, and they're saying, okay, this is mine. And that's where you'll find their cardboard, and that's where they wait for their meal lines. The government has issued, I believe, a total of 42 million baht in aid to businesses and their employees, but that's not going to cover, really, that's not a lot of money. And that's also not going to cover informal workers. So these people that are over here informally, and they don't want, and I don't blame them for not wanting you to see the meth, that kind of environment. I don't blame Thailand for not publicizing those pictures, but this guy is in Pattaya right now, and he's showing what it's really like. Roger McGee says, if you're a boater, please make sure your steering system is in good condition. 3 brothers thrown out of boat because of steering malfunction Saturday. Boat circled, 2 passed away, 1 critical. Wow, that's not good. I actually saw that happen once when I was on a lake, Lake Norman. I was on Roger. I saw that happen. It's okay, LG. I'm not mad at you, bro. You just have to watch what you say. That's all. You can't get super detailed about stuff like that. No big deal. But Roger, to your point, I saw a steering brake on a boat that had about 8 people on it, and it was going extremely fast. And when it broke, the boat just turned sideways. I mean, it just literally turned sideways, and then it rolled. And I think only 1 person survived that. To the best of my knowledge, it was years and years ago. So yeah, if you're a boater, be sure you got steering under control. Stuck says it was just way too descriptive, LG. Yeah. No worries, guys. No worries. Everything's cool. We've had, Tuesday's live stream. I won't be taking this one down, but Tuesday's live stream I took down because we got really carried away, and for the first time, I actually didn't know how to handle it properly. So I took it down because I didn't want anybody to misinterpret what I was trying to say. I didn't want anybody to misinterpret what people were trying to say in the comment section. Today, if you'll notice, we've had some issues in the comments section talking about politics and stuff, and calm, cool, and collected. Just delete the comments and reinforce the idea that we're not talking about it, because that's not what we're here to talk about. I wanted to warn you guys against computer crimes, and I wanted to warn you guys against, or not warn you, but I won't yell out. That's because Montelli was there. Let's blame it on Montelli. Why not, right? But I also wanted to tell you guys what is actually up with travel and tourism here in Thailand in 2021. And part of that involves talking about the vaccines, talking about the vaccine rollout, talking about the Phuket Sandbox, talking about the Samui Plus program or scheme. You have to be careful what you say about these programs online, or you will find yourself in trouble if you say something that could be interpreted as misleading. MedTech says, I miss my girl too much. I hear you, MedTech. I hear you. Stuck said, I missed the notification for Tuesday live stream. I got it, but didn't see it till later. It's all good, man. It wasn't anything crazy. It's just that I didn't want anybody I didn't want to give it the chance to be misinterpreted by people that view it, because it got a little heated, for lack of a better term. Key says, how will we know where your new channel will be? I will tell you, and I will post, and I will make sure that you guys know where the new channel will be. And I'm also going to take a lot of content that I posted here on YouTube, and I'm going to post it over there, because it's going to be another DoMoreLife channel. And I may use multiple platforms. I may use only one platform. I'm not sure. Depends on how I can get it done, or how fast I can get it done, I should say. Stuck says it was late and wasn't paying attention. No worries, man. No worries. It's all good. But I just want you guys to be aware of the computer crimes, defamation. Let's see. What is defamation in Thailand? What is, let's say, cyber defamation? So this is Cybersecurity 2021 Laws and Regulations Thailand. This is from iclg.com. And it says, whoever dishonestly or deceitfully inputs into a computer system computer data which is distorted, forged, either in whole or in part, or computer data which is false in such a manner likely to cause injury to the general public, which is not the offense of defamation under the criminal code, shall be liable for, and let me see if I can continue reading this. And the website froze up. Of course it did. Wait, let's try it again. It was moving there for a second. Come on, website. Here we go. Cybersecurity laws and regulations. Thailand covers common issues in cybersecurity laws and regulations, including cybercrime, applicable laws preventing attacks, specific sectors, corporate governance, litigation, insurance, and investigatory and police powers in 26 jurisdictions. So this goes into, I'll just give, the website is iclg.com. And if you'll read on there, you'll find out that a defamation is something that I've been privy to myself here in Thailand and in the Philippines. Was defamed in both. Was it criminal? I don't know. But it was definitely something that could be civilly tried. And a lot of people here commit these acts towards other people, especially on YouTube, and they're going to find themselves in a world of hurt eventually. Just returned to base, now can hear, says MetTech. Cool, man. Let's see here. Hang on, I think I got an ad, guys. I don't need an ad. I need the website. This is from ThailandLawOffice.com. And it takes me to another website, which I cannot get rid of for some reason. So I don't guess I'm going to get to read. I'm not going to get to read those laws. What is defamation, cybercrime? Defamation means giving an injury to the reputation of a person, resulting from a statement which is false. The term defamation is used in section. That's in a different country. Cyber defamation is also known as internet defamation or online defamation in the world of internet and its users. So basically, defamation is when you damage someone's character based upon anything that's false. That definitely includes YouTube trolling. There's a guy in the Philippines that's about to go to jail for a long time. I'm not going to give you any more details on that. Doesn't have anything to do with me. It's with someone else. But for extreme violations of defamation, which is very, very scrutinized in the Philippines. Good night, Roger McGee. Thank you for joining, bud. Appreciate it. Let's see here. We got an update. We got an update. That's just an update on the number of people since April the 1st that have been treated and all that stuff. Let's see. Let's see if we can find something interesting. According to a tweet that was sent out, and according to the Bangkok Post, it says the ministry, cross-dose plan to go ahead despite widespread confusion. So maybe there will be more cross jabbing due to this stuff. CCSA to buy 1 million more doses. We went over that. And the British Embassy is again giving their citizens vaxes. We talked about that earlier. I posed the question, why is America, who has a surplus of jabs, not helping its citizens abroad by sending some of those jabs? And a lot of people got very angry because I said that. But the fact is that it's not happening, and I don't understand why. I'm still a taxpayer in America. I make American income. I pay my taxes there, and I don't understand why I'm not eligible for. If I was eligible for an AZ jab right now, and I could get my hands on one right now, I would absolutely take it right now. Like I know that sounds contradictory to everything I've been saying, but the fact of the matter is, one of the reasons that I'm so elusive on this thing is because I can't figure out why they're having such problems getting them and why we can't get them, not just from America, but in general. It makes me wonder if something's wrong because they're not being able to get enough of them. Just something in the back of my head. MetTech, you might be a mind reader. Peter says, you must be careful, brother. I know you are smart and grounded. Please stay that way. I am definitely doing that. Definitely doing that, Peter. Definitely trying to do that. And I want the people to know and understand when it comes to, because originally I was just going to talk about cyber crimes and give a few updates on here. So I want to try to get away from the jabs and all that stuff for a moment. But I want people to understand is when you call somebody by name, or you don't even have to call somebody by their name to defame them. If you are online and you give enough information that that person can be identified, like, for example, there was someone recently who referred to my channel as DoMoreLife, and then used my full legal name afterwards. Well, obviously, they're talking about me. They're using my full legal name, and they're using a pseudonym for my channel name. That is legal defamation. And then the context afterwards is legal defamation because they use completely untrue statements. That's a serious position to put yourself in, and I want you guys to be smart about that. When it comes to Thailand and talking about the commenting on the issues here in Thailand, I want you to be smart about that too, because you don't want to do anything to defame the Kingdom of Thailand. Don't do it. Whatever they're saying in the media, whatever you hear from legitimate news sources, take that for what it is, and you can have an opinion about it, but just don't express anything false relating to that opinion. If it is an opinion, make sure you let it be clearly known that it's your opinion, but you're not a medical doctor or a financial advisor or travel agent or whatever the case may be, just like me, right? I'm none of those things. Stuck says, a lot of U.S. expats in many countries, it's a lot to coordinate, especially with some of the governments they have to deal with. That's true. That is true. I don't disagree with your statement, Stuck. However, the U.S. is sending vaccines to other countries right now, to less developed countries. So if they can send those vaccines to less developed countries, my question is, why can't they send X amount of vaccines to the embassy and then let American citizens register for the jabs through the embassy? That way we don't have to worry about time. I'm not saying they have to send enough jabs for the country. I'm talking about just taking care of their own citizens. Sweden's doing it. Britain's doing it. Actually, there are several countries in Europe that is doing it. What's another one? There are a couple countries that are doing that, and it's being effective. Here in Thailand, they're actually their embassies are receiving doses of the jab, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's a good thing to do, and I really wish our country would do more of that. So, while your statement is absolutely correct, it is a lot to deal with, and it does. I personally, everybody's made this out to be, and it very well could be, such a terrible, horrific nightmare, right? So why wouldn't the countries do everything that they could in their power to make sure that their citizens do not contribute to the widespread disaster that is currently going on? That's where that's like my thinking, right? That's just the way I look at it in my head. I understand it's tough. I understand it's there's a lot of red tape and that kind of thing. I totally get all that. But you know, if the U.S. can fight wars in 20 countries at the same time, surely they can get some vaccines over to a few countries. That's all I'm saying. At once. So again, not to blame, not to not to just, pound on the U.S. for being terrible, but I think that I think they could have done more. That's just my opinion. Here's the numbers I was looking for. This is from Thai News Reports. Oh, they don't want to put. Okay, this is the number. That's not the same thing I thought it was. I apologize. I was looking for the number of vaxes. I was looking for the number of vaxes that they were given every day, which has been in the couple hundred thousands, and then it stops on the weekends. And I actually saw an article that said they close on the weekends. Like some of these shops close up on the weekends, which I thought was weird. Like some of these private hospitals and stuff shut down their operations on the weekends. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're in need, if your country is in need of getting these rollouts to people, why not get them out? Stuck in Florida says, not my point of view. I have friends that say the people that decided to live somewhere other than America. So, yeah. So that was a point that was brought up as well on Tuesday. Someone said, if you don't like it, leave, go back to America. Well, that's a very easy that's an easy thing for people to say, right? But the actual process involved in that is this. Let's just take me, for example. I got to quit my job, which means I have to cancel my work permit and beg for a 7-day extension. Okay. I need at least 7 days to get a flight together and to get all my stuff together, packed up, ready to move home. Then I got to find a flight. Right now, flights to get me to where I need to go is about $1,800. I don't have $1,800. Even if I did, I would have to book it. Then, in order to get on the airplane, I've got to go get either jabbed or I've got to go get the negative test done. So that's going to take up more time and more money. And if I can't, and the jab's not available right now, then I can't get it anyway. Then I'm going to have to go to the U.S. And when I get to the U.S., I'm going to have no job. For most people, they wouldn't have a place to live. Luckily, I would have a place to stay. I'm going to have to find, as you guys know, I have underlying health conditions, so I'm going to have to find new doctors, go through a new medication regimen with them, and get life set up, basically start life all over again. So it's not just as easy as saying, okay, if you don't like where you're at, leave. I used to say that to people, and then I realized after being in the situation I'm in right now, I won't say that again. I'm not saying I won't say that again. What I mean is I won't say it's as easy as just saying, well, if you don't like where you're at, pick up and leave. Now, if you have a home to go back to, if you're retired, if you have plenty of money in the bank and money's no object, resources are no object for you, that kind of thing, then sure. If you don't like where you're at, leave. It's not a big deal. But for the average person like myself, there's a lot of stuff involved. But I understand your friend's point of view, Stuck. Robert says, I believe U.S. of A has gone south quickly since you were last here. My friend, has been a mess. Last few years, I agree with you that should be first on the list to help fellow Americans. That's all I'm saying. Help fellow Americans. That's it. Lyle says, so Saturday, no politics. Let's talk about something we can all agree on. Bikinis. Good. Yes, I like bikinis, Lyle. I like bikinis. Stuck says, Lyle, I knew I liked you for some reason. 100%. Saturday, we are going to talk about something, and if anybody brings politics into the conversation, we're just going to remove their comments until they either stop or they leave the chat, one of the two. But we are going to try to answer a question on Saturday that many people have been asking, and I'm going to do my best to do the adequate research on it. And then Sunday's live stream will be, hopefully, if we don't get any bad news, will be nothing but pure fun. And we will talk bikinis and girls and women. And we'll talk Thai relationships. We'll talk about some very interesting stuff. Yeah, bring the hammer on Saturday. For sure, Stuck. Bring the hammer, because we're just gonna talk about. It's going to involve some of the context we had today, but we're going to remove all politics from it. Okay. And I want to hear a conversation with you guys. I want to have more of a conversation, less reading, more of a conversation. That's what I want to have on Saturday. And I'm going to give you my thoughts, and I want you to share your thoughts, and then we're all going to come to a nice, comfortable, subtle conclusion on why we agree on Saturday's topic. I think it'll be fun. It'll be entertaining. MetTech, you're more than welcome, sir. Lyle says, what does Jack's kitchen look like? JC's. Oh, he's still obsessed with my kitchen. My kitchen is about this big, man, Lyle. I have to maybe I'll send you a private video or something. I'm not sure. Jack said, the situation reminds me of a song by Jay-Z. It was all good just a week ago. Replace that with 2 years. Yep. You got a point there. I'm familiar. I'm a big fan of hip hop. Yeah, it's all good just a week ago. Yeah, it's all good just last April of 2020. Everything was fine. Daddy Bob, good to see you, man. He says, hi, Jeremy. Just caught you before we sign out. Good to see you. Bob from New Zealand. Bob, it's always good to see you, bud. MedTech says yes, but some people dislike attributes of their country, yet stay to attempt in their part to improve their country. That's true. There are a lot of Americans in America right now attempting to change America. There are a lot of people who are not citizens of America right now trying to change the government of America. So, it is what it is. Stuck says, finally, not supposed to rain this weekend. Maybe I'll send you some bikini pictures from the beach here. Not of me. Sorry, guys. Oh, Stuck. We wanted to see you in the Speedo, man. Come on, dude. But with that, I'll start winding this down. So first and foremost, I want to say thanks to what I normally would say thanks to anybody who sent a PayPal or did any type of monetary contribution. We didn't get that today, no problem. It's not a requirement to come on this channel and discuss topics. Helpful, but definitely not a requirement. So I look forward to somebody. Well, I'm sure on Saturday somebody will put out some kind of challenge or something. So we'll have a good weekend there. I absolutely don't mind being transparent, saying that I will continue to need the channel's help for that. But again, if I don't get it, we'll work around it, or my time in Thailand will be shortened, one of the two, until I find a second job. So we'll see how it goes. MedTech says the idea that one should leave if one disagrees with elements of law or social structure is absurd. Yeah, don't leave. You can have a discussion about it, but what we're not going to do is talk about political situations on this channel. We're just not going to. If we disagree, that's we can have a very healthy discussion. We've had that before on this channel. People disagree, have a very healthy discussion, and it's wonderful. Elements of law, we can talk about, but if it's in Thailand, I can't really go one way or the other, and neither can you guys, because I can't leave it up in the chat. Social structure is another thing we can discuss. But yeah, no one should feel threatened about leaving the chat because of any of that. Stuck said things are going to be tight for me the rest of the month, but I help the best I can. Oh, Stuck, I know you will, man. I ain't worried about you. Do what you got to do, brother. Everybody take care of themselves financially first before you worry about me. I'm just saying. As one always. Or as I always try to do, I'm just being transparent with you guys. So it's not trying to put pressure on anybody or anything. So it's all good. Definitely all good. MedTech. Oh, I read that already. So with that being said, then I want to thank my channel members so much for coming on and being a part of the conversation. I want to thank my moderators for doing a great job helping me keep the chat cleaned today. And I also want to thank anyone who made a comment, whether it was whether you should have made it or not during this live stream. That's okay, because I encourage the conversation. I encourage the dialogue. So you guys have been great up until that point, or not up until that point. You guys have been great with the conversation, and my moderators have done a fantastic job. I look forward to seeing you all Saturday. Maybe you'll get a short video from me tomorrow. And I appreciate, the family. Don't forget the family aspect of DoMoreLife, guys. This is definitely a family-oriented, community-oriented channel, and I love passing along the info. You're more than welcome, Stuck. And thank you guys that have dissenting opinions on things that we talk about here, because I love the dialogue and the structure. So, with all that being said, I love you guys. I mean it. Take care, and whatever you do today, be sure you do more life. I will see you on Saturday.